is a remarkable zero waste project in the UK. A team from Oxford University has developed a solution to plastic flower pot waste. The team produced pots from coffee waste and sugarcane. What's more, a Turk is leading that team, Dr. Emre Eren Korkmaz. He's a live guest of NTV London representative Gökhan Bozkurt. Let's hand over to them. Gökhan.
Ahmet, we're in Oxford. We're here with Dr. Emre Eren Korkmaz. They've truly signed off on a remarkable project. Let's mention this. He's the leader of the academic team from Oxford, going to the COP meeting in Antalya. They'll be heading there very shortly. As such, the project they've done has reached a very remarkable scale. With this move from Oxford in the UK, we'll now have some questions for him. I'd like to turn to him here. First of all, welcome to our broadcast, Dobza.
Thank you. Welcome.
It's a truly remarkable project. Thank you, first and foremost. Of course, we know millions of plastic pots end up in nature every year. You mentioned it before the broadcast too. We know that 500 million pots are wasted annually in the UK alone. This is truly striking. So, what's the exact scale of this problem and why hasn't it been solved yet? Let's start with that, if you will.
Yes, plastic is one of the most fundamental issues. Regarding waste, as you said, around 500 million pots are used in the UK. But even if these are collected, recycling them is very difficult. A vast majority don't even undergo recycling, due to their quality, unfortunately. And over 90% of these are then buried in the ground, polluting more. And it's not just about agriculture, it's in all packaging, in different areas. We use plastic. We need to produce solutions for this. We set out with this goal in mind.
Now, these pots you've developed are actually sitting right in front of us. They're like the plastic we normally know. I mean, there's almost no difference from plastic, but there's a feature that sets them apart. What, eh? What makes them different, these pots?
Yes, in our talks with the industry, there were two issues for them to adapt to this. One is a technical issue. Technically speaking, there's a composition here that mimics plastic. Strong and durable like plastic, but it vanishes when buried in the soil. I mean, it disappears in the soil. There's no need to collect it again. After burial, it's eaten by bacteria in a few months, as you see, and vanishes over time. Our biggest contribution is developing this product, but also making it affordable enough for the industry to use.
So in a sense, it dissolves in the soil, as I understand it. Of course, biodegradable pots were tried before, but they didn't catch on. So, what makes these pots you've produced different from the others?
Yes. Well, there are biodegradable products. This isn't a product that's come out of nowhere. Of course, the resin we use here has a history of 1.5 years. It's relatively new in that sense. But normally, in other biodegradable products like cutlery or similar items, you also have to collect them and, recycle them. You need to put them into recycling. When you bury these in the soil, they decompose and nourish the earth at the same time. And that's a big deal. Naturally, you bury it directly in the ground without removing the plant from the pot. And within a year or 18 months, depending on the soil quality, it's gone.
Actually, there's one more extremely important point. We really need to emphasize this. This is a completely natural product and absolutely no petroleum's used.
Exactly. It's made from sugarcane and coffee, and it could be made from other products too. Of course, it can be worked on, but sugarcane and coffee can be developed and produced by the millions. It's important in that sense. And of course, the budget is also important. Ultimately, for the industry to accept this, the cost has to be right for them. We've taken a significant step in this regard.
So where is this product being used? I mean, are garden centres or other industries ready for this?
Well, we're currently conducting the initial pilot studies. We've developed it as a product. We've finished the pilot studies for it. It'll soon go on sale at a major garden centre here in the United Kingdom. A trial will be conducted there. Besides that, it's possible for it to be available in different venues. Gradually, we're promoting and testing these in both the UK and the Gulf countries. As I said, the most important aspect is that it perfectly meets that specific need. They've been developed to match the demands of the agriculture and horticulture sectors.
It has attracted attention in many respects. Now, a COP meeting will be held in Antalya very soon. Oxford University is going there with a very strong team, and you are leading that team. I'd actually like to talk a bit about the goals for that event. Specifically, what is the goal of Oxford?
University there? Well, a strong delegation from Oxford University will be attending. Over 50 academics will come, along with many of our student colleagues. We consider this climate conference in Antalya to be very important. It's particularly important to us that it's actionable. Taking action is what matters. We believe it shouldn't just be a conference where people talk. That's the goal of the Antalya COP as well. To have a structure that's practical, realistic, and solves problems. Naturally, we'll be there with these kinds of products and projects. We'll share both our research and the work we've been doing. In that sense, we're looking forward to it and preparing for it.
Of course, the Turkey aspect is also important now. This work you're doing will spread from the UK to the whole world. It's been a very noteworthy piece of work. But from Turkey's perspective, especially in the plastic, packaging and recycling sectors, what's the outlook?
Well, Turkey is Europe's largest plastic production hub. It has a substantial industrial infrastructure. Not just plastic, but plastics. With all these derivatives, we're talking about a massive industry. But due to laws in the EU and the UK, a ban will soon be introduced. Even now, 3 types of extra taxes are being imposed. So, in a way, they're trying to discourage the industry from using this. Naturally, this affects Turkey as well. What will happen to these affairs, or what will become of this industry? Our biggest advantage is that they can switch by using these products in their existing machines without any extra investment. Naturally, we're also in talks with industrialists in Turkey. It's possible for those producing in packaging, agriculture and plastics to implement this directly and produce their own products in a natural, 100% natural way. Naturally, when these products are released, there won't be a recycling problem afterwards, because it already decomposes on its own in the soil. It also solves a significant problem, but it's also a great advantage for the green transformation of the industry. There's no extra investment, and especially for those exporting to the European Union, it needs to start from there.
Now, what do you think is the most important responsibility for consumers and sector players to accelerate this transformation?
Well, on these matters, of course, there are many sustainability committees. People get together, they hold meetings. It's time to take action now. There are solutions for this in academia. I'm a social scientist. I mean, we didn't produce this product. Our colleagues produced this product, or rather the resin. But we've advanced all the processes for this product. That is, for a resin, a raw material, to turn into a product and become market ready. We've both reduced the cost from 10 times to 3 times, even 2 times. You know, we've made it more budget friendly. And we've also provided what the industry truly needs. So we worked as an interface like this. Naturally, it's quite important for the industry or sectors that want to change and transform to establish these links with academia, to establish links with us.
Actually, this point you've highlighted is extremely important. In fact, your field of scientific study is a completely different branch. But at Oxford University, as far as I understand, there's also such a transformation process, isn't there? Especially in terms of zero waste or climate sensitivity. And I suppose professors from many different departments come together and conduct these kinds of sensitivity studies. Antalya can be considered within this framework.
Of course, we work very multidisciplinarily. So it's not just scientists or those working in heavy technology, deep technology, but also political scientists, international development experts, business managers. So all of us, economists, work together in teams. Naturally, there's such a product. This product shouldn't just remain as a pattern on paper. It needs to come to life. Thus, we need to solve our problems. Academia is already full of solutions regarding the climate issue and sustainability. The issue is their inability to enter the market and meet the industry. We're taking the biggest step here. This is a serious solution. Otherwise, it's just seen as a flower pot. But we're talking about hundreds of millions of flower pots, and the fact that they decompose in the soil, don't cause harm, and even nourish the soil is a huge advantage, of course.
It's truly a very remarkable study. As you can see, when we hold it, it's not much different from any plastic flower pot. But it's a product that, once in the soil, gradually begins to melt, decompose and disappear without harming nature in any way. Scientists at Oxford University have brought this research to life, and it's particularly noteworthy that a Turkish scientist is leading the team. That scientist was our guest today, Dr. Eren Emre Korkmaz. Very soon, he'll be leading the Oxford University team heading to Antalya. They'll be sharing the perspective of Oxford University and perhaps the UK on climate sensitivity with the world from Antalya, Turkey. That's all from us here in Oxford for there.
That was Cam Boskurt reporting.